So almost we have covered parts related to hardware. So I hope you all are clear about that hardware part. Now the second is software. With it, but if you are not installing any software, then computer is not a computer. It's just like a rectangular box without any software. So hardware and software both are required. So now we will start the topic software. So before starting with this topic, you need to understand data and information. So data and information. Here if you understand the concept, then it is something like that. Data means what? So whenever you are going to do some work, you need some raw material. Suppose if you are going to prepare a notebook, okay, simple notebook. So for that also raw material is required. Without raw material, you cannot produce it. Some things will be produced naturally, but from there we are creating different things for our regular use. So here also data and information is very important because these are considered as a raw material for your work. Whenever you are going to do any work on computer, you need some raw material. So that raw material can be considered as data or information. So if we talk about the definition of data, then data definition lies in this like raw facts, figures, text, numbers. So these are called data. There is no meaning of it because only something is written. One example I will give, suppose 103, then name is written there, something like Rahul. Then after that 5,000. So something is written over here. Name, then two numbers written. Mobile number is written. So by that, it has no meaning. If you look at that, so nobody can understand what it is and why it is written. Suppose you are writing this thing on one paper. You are doing work there. Now suppose I want to do something with data or I want to search a record. So I have searched the record of your marks, any student marks. So I have just written on paper roll number, name, and marks. But nobody can understand what it is until and unless we provide some information related to that. So data is only raw facts, only some numbers and text is written there. Like on paper you are writing 103, 530, like that. So that is only numbers. It has no meaning. So data is raw facts, figures, and textual content, whatever we are using for particular task. Now, which type of data is used in computers? So generally, you can see there are numerous type of data, but it is categorized into three categories, main three categories, because we are accessing videos, pictures, songs, documents. So these are the main categories of files which we are accessing on computer. So some can be considered as the big files, large files. So these large files contains frames like videos, photos, HD, whatever available in 4K or HD we are telling. So that is there. So that means it is having large capacity of data. So that's why it requires large storage capacity also. So whatever facts we are processing, that can be considered as a data. Now after that, the same example I am considering, roll number 1001, then name Rahul, marks English 53, science 64, social science 85. So like that. So now anyone can understand what it is. So here it is representing that some data is written and these are the marks of Rahul, roll number this and this. Earlier it was not. If you are writing on paper like 1001, Rahul 53, 83, 64. So nobody can understand what it is because these three numbers are given there 64, 85, whatever you have written. But that cannot be considered as a marks because it can be, and marks, if you consider, then which subject? It is not clearly mentioned. So data is something like that. Raw material, it is just a raw facts. So data can be considered as a raw facts. And then when you are adding these column headers like roll number, name, then Maths, English, Science, Social Science. Now that particular raw fact has specific meaning. So it is called information. So when your data comes meaningful, then it calls information. So meaningful data called information. That is the definition. So this is data and information. By data, you cannot take your decision. Nobody can understand what it is. Just something is written only that much. But by information, you can get the information or you can get the details of particular thing. So you can understand what it is and you can determine what you want to do. Moreover, you can judge also, you can take your decision and so many things you can do when you have the information. So these are the basics between data and information. Now types of data. So when we think about types of data, so these facts, whatever concepts, instructions we are processing, that is available in two categories majorly. Either somewhere numbers are written or somewhere text. These two things are there only. These alphabets like A to Z, small a to Z, 0 to 9 digits, or any punctuation mark like $, exclamatory mark, question mark, whatever we are using to writing data. So this data can be input in other languages. When computer access it, it will be converted into other languages in terms of files. So when input data requested from that particular device, from input device like keyboard, mouse, whatever we are using. So what is generally creating? It creates different formats and that you have seen in your computer. Every software has its own format. Like if you are opening Notepad, if you want to play song in Notepad, it is not possible. Because Notepad has a specific format only. .txt file can be accessed. Song you cannot play. Similarly, if you want to read any document with VLC player, then also it is not possible. Because VLC player just only plays video or audio. It cannot open a document. So like that. So for each and specific thing, we require specific type of software or specific type of application. So here, based on this, there are three types of data. One is structured, second is unstructured, and third is semi-structured. Now let me understand what is structured, semi-structured, and unstructured. So, structured means what? The data which follows a specific pattern or a strict record structure to comprehend the data whenever you are processing data. So we need some structure. So if data is there, their format is already predefined format that can be considered as a structure. Such data with pre-specified tabular form. Tabular form means it is available in row and column. So that will be there. So by that you can understand what is this. So that is called structured data and it has a specific format. And it is clear that the data is organized in row and column format which is easily understandable. Because when you write this data in paragraph form, nobody can understand. Suppose if you are writing roll number, then name, then marks. Now again roll number 1001, then we are writing like Amitesh, then we are writing 25, 35, 33, then we are writing roll number 1003, Vanshika, then 63, 54, 65, then we are writing. So here, if you are writing this thing in paragraph or in that format, nobody can understand or nobody is interested to see that, what it is. Because when we are writing in paragraph, it is meaningless, we can say. This type of data. Paragraphs, if you have some sentences, if you want to write some descriptions, so that descriptions can be written in paragraph, but data cannot. So this data, when we are presenting in tabular form, it is easily understandable by any person. So structured data may be sorted in ascending or descending order easily. And when you process them in tabular form, so anytime you want to see the data in any particular order, like roll number, then names, or sometimes you need to check that highest marks. So according to that ascending order, descending order, highest to lowest, lowest to highest. So it is very easy to search that is structured data. Another thing, when we are working with structured data, it includes some transactions. So transactions like we can consider when we are transacting any online transaction. Suppose you are giving order on Amazon, you are booking your railway tickets, you are booking your flights. So these all are transactions. So these transactions having specific columns. So anytime the person wants any report, they can bifurcate that by that column. So either they can use filter, they can use sort. So these all options you learn in MS Excel and spreadsheet software. So those are useful for getting data easily. So structured data helps in this manner. So whenever you have some specific data, some pattern or format, you can use structured data. Now next is unstructured data. So unstructured data means what? It is organized in predefined record format. Now predefined record format means what? The file format is fixed. File format, not data. That is called unstructured data. So here you can consider like audio and video files, and data can be generated from anywhere. Any kind of data will come. So these large files can be considered unstructured data, like audio and video files. So audio and video, there is nothing specific. Anything will come there. As we are speaking here, so I will speak anything. Whatever coming to my mind related to topic, that I am just explaining you. So that will come. So there is no specific format. According to topic, whatever I have prepared, that I am just explaining you. So that is called unstructured data. Right now it is unstructured data. Then graphics file we are accessing. Text documents can be also considered as a unstructured data. Then social media post, whenever you are using Facebook, Instagram. So what will come, that's why they are writing there, what's on your mind. So that's we are writing. So in our mind, anything will come anytime. So that is unstructured. There is no specific structure. There is a structure like that at 8 o'clock. Something come in my mind like this, so I will post on social media. So it is not a particular thing which is coming in our mind when we are using social media. Whatever coming, whatever things we are just reading or scrolling on that wall, that is available there with someone's thought or something, and we are sharing it. So there is unstructured. We don't know what my friends are sharing. I don't know what my friends are sharing. The pages which I like, what the person is trying to sharing. So that if I like, then I am just sharing that. So that is called unstructured. Understood both of the pattern? Any doubt in this?
Sir, can you repeat it?
Okay. Now see, structured and unstructured, these two things are there. Structured means what? There is predefined formats of data. Structured means predefined format of data, means this name should be there, mark should be there, this should be there. So it will be available in tabular form. So there is row and column, and in that only we are entering data. So that is called structured data. So by that you can sort them, you can filter them on those data. So easily you can find out specific records. So when you are processing some records, you can use structured data. Whenever matter comes to work with records, so there you can just use structured data. Unstructured data means what? There is predefined record format, means the file format. In structured data, we are having format of data, and here we are not having format of data. Data can be anything, and any type of data will come, but the format of record is fixed, means file. So that file, like audio files, video files, graphics, text documents. So these are unstructured data. So that can be anything. Suppose you are making a video. Now in this video, is there anything specific? Right now you will say to this sentence that you are planning and you are creating script, that is different thing. But that is not considered as a structure. That is unstructured only, because what will come in your mind sometimes when we are preparing. So whatever we are preparing, we cannot deliver also sometimes. Because something we miss, or sometimes we deliver in that manner what is required. Whatever we have prepared, 100% we are not delivering. We are delivering according to the context, according to the situation, and according to the audience. If you are going to present a presentation in front of audience, now sometimes audience ask any question, so which is not available in your presentation. So that time you can't say like that, I will answer this or later or something like that. There you have to explain something which is not available with you. So that is called unstructured. Anything will come. So this is structured and unstructured, two types of data. Clear now? Bhavik?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the third one is semi-structured data. Now semi-structured data means what? We use well-defined structure. Now well-defined structure means what? It is having structured data also and unstructured data also. So the capability of both of these data types, semi-structured data will work on both of that. So that is called semi-structured data. So here semi-structured data, how it is processed in computers. So generally for recording structured data, we are using any database or any spreadsheet software that is enough because they are providing the facility to process your data in tabular form. Now for structured data, we have separate file formats, so we are using that. But for semi-structured data, what you can do? So semi-structured data generally considered as a meta tags. So some internal tags may be created and marking should be created to identify the internal elements. So to process this semi-structured data, generally some types of formats are there. Those formats are used to process the semi-structured data, like email. So email has its own specific format. When you are using a particular software like Outlook or you are using online, right now we are using Gmail. So Gmail has its own application. So that email data will be considered as a semi-structured because the format is already well defined by that particular service provider. If you are using Google, if you are using Yahoo, Rediff Mail, whatever service we are using. So that is well defined by that company and we are using that one. Second, you can consider semi-structured data HTML page. I hope you are aware about HTML. Do you know what is HTML?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So the basics of all websites, the website page design, how the web page can be designed. So when we are developing a website, we are using this HTML. So it has tags and we can use only that tags. Without that you cannot use. Suppose you want to write a paragraph. So we are using P tag for writing paragraph. Suppose you want to use picture. So we are using IMG tag. So these are tags. So it is well defined. Whenever you want to process image, you have to use IMG. Then SRC, then border, whatever attributes you want to give. So this is well defined structure we can say. By after this will come, this can be applied, this can be applied. Height, width, F space, V space, whatever attributes we are using with image. So that is called semi-structured data. Then comma separated files, CSV. CSV files is very common format nowadays. As you can see, whatever you want to export from particular website, it may be saved in CSV file. What is the reason behind that? Because CSV file, it is not limited to spreadsheet. If you are opening a spreadsheet, it is well and good. But if spreadsheet software is not there and you want to access CSV file, so it can be open in Notepad. And from that only, you can access them. So that is also very useful. Sometimes your spreadsheet software is not working or some other problem. If you want to use this semi-structured data CSV, then you can use Notepad. So in Notepad it will open and you can read data. So these are called semi-structured data and it contains different details. So here details you can store in a different manner or with a specific element. That element can be defined and well defined. So like that you can use them. So these are the types of data. Now two things associated with this data. When you understand the type, two things will come in your mind. First is how the data will be processed. And second is how the data can be made available for that particular user. So these two things are there. Now you have these types of data. You have processed some structured data, unstructured data or semi-structured data. Now the method comes to access the data. So it can be retrieved, it can be processed or it can be provided to the user as and when required. So basically there are three methods. One is data capturing, another is data storage, and third one is retrieval. Data capturing means what? We are entering data, we are feeding data into the system. That can be considered as data capturing. So in this process, whether you are using any device or you are directly typing that, it doesn't matter. So that is called data capturing. So this process use simple input devices like keyboard, then barcode readers or any other scanner. So this can be used. So this is the basic thing. First, as we have seen, data input. So that can be also considered like the data input. Then the next is data storage. When you input data and data processed as and when required, after that you need to store them for future use. Because right now you are creating file. It is not like that right now you have created file and in future you are not going to use it. So we are preparing this data actually to use in future. So for future scope we are using this thing. So what we are doing, we are storing the data. So for storing data, we have data storage and storage devices that we already discussed. What are the storage devices? So here, digital storage devices help in simplifying different storage locations. So there are numerous type of digital storage devices available in the market right now. You can use so many types. Earlier, there are some fixed devices only, like hard disk, floppy disk, as I have explained in that topic. So only those were available. But nowadays, there are so many types of devices. Like now you can see even phone and tablet. Those devices have their own storage capacity. So there is no hard disk or nothing, but internal storage is given. So like that, there are so many devices available. So data keeps on increasing with time. That is also one fact. As you are working right now, so that data compared to yesterday, today the data will be increased only. Because every day as and when we are processing data, it will increase day by day. So storage device is also required to upgrade it. Because right now you have 500 GB, but due to the increase of data, now the storage capacity you need to extend or you need to upgrade. So that time you have to upgrade that. Or you can delete some files which is not in use. But it is not good idea for the office or whenever you are doing work. Because anytime the old data can be asked. So that time what you will do? Like that currently we are processing your result for class 10. We have processed. But CBSE asked for last 3 years result. So that records also required. So if the particular person deletes that data, like right now 21 is there. So we need 2019, 2020, okay, 2018, 19 and 20. These 3 years records we need to process your data as per the policy of CBSE. So what we have done, so we have just taken the printout of those data, but it was available. If somebody deletes that now the year completed, let me delete it and do it. So that cannot be helpful. So that's why we need to keep the data. We are not deleting all the files. So for that, it requires to be changed so that storage device can be upgraded as and when required. And nowadays you can see as the technology advancements are continued, so you can see there are so many different smaller and compact devices are available day by day and faster storage with large capacity. So these are the main key features of new storage devices. Such dedicated computers also help to process data many times. So when you are setting up some servers or some maintenance on the computers, so they also require high storage capacity data. So these all are the basic things related to data storage. Now when you complete data storage, so 2 things already done. One is input and second is data storage. Now the third one, whenever you need in future, what you will use, that is called data retrieval. Because it is required. Right now your boss may ask, show me the report of January. Then if you are not prepared, then what you will show? So that time you have to prepare this data. So that is called data retrieval. So if you have saved your file or processed somewhere, that location, from that location you can get the files easily. So you can process this as per your requirement. So as database grows, challenges involved in search and retrieval will be increased. Means whenever database is increasing, your search will be also increasing. That is the true fact. So minimizing data access time is crucial for faster data processing. Now as and when you need some data, so every time you need not to access everything, only the things which is required. So there you can use different filter conditions, or on database you can perform query as you learn in database chapter class 10th. So we are going to perform the query. So in query, what it is showing? The specific data, what your requirement is there. So accordingly it is showing whenever you are performing the query. Now, when data retrieval has been completed, after that, data deletion and recovery. This is also main aspect related to data. Because when sometimes some files can be deleted accidentally, some files can be deleted intentionally. Your intention is there to delete the file. So some files may be deleted intentionally, and some files deleted by the viruses due to some problems or some other reasons in operating system like data corruption or some other boot sector or rootkit virus attack or something like that. So these all are the common processes, and these are the reasons for data deletion. So sometimes your computer is malfunctioning or crashed in between, that time also your data may be deleted. So these are the common reasons. So whether your data is deleted accidentally, intentionally, or due to virus effect, you need that data back sometimes. So for that you need to use recovery. So recovery software, I made one video also how to
Yes.
recover data using Rakua. Okay, so if you have deleted any file with shift delete, the same thing can be restored by using Rakua. So Rakua software is there that you can use. Moreover, other software are also coming, but that you have to purchase the license. Rakua is the free software that you can use, free and open source. But if you need some other facility or extra services, then you have to pay for that. But basic recovery is available there, so you can recover your folders up to some extent, not all the files, up to some extent you can recover. So this data deletion and recovery is also very important, and next is security. So that also you can understand data security should be given at utmost priority in the organization. Why it is so? Because all employees or persons like in your class, all your friends are not your well-wishers. That is human tendency actually. All should be well-wishers of each other. But it is not, because of so many reasons. Somewhere, what we can say, bad habits are there. Some people is having such kind of intentions. Some people having some other aspirations. Some people is having different types of qualities and different type of bad qualities also. So due to that only, you need to secure your data. You cannot trust on anyone. The person who is sitting next to your chair, that maybe play something with you whenever he will get time. So every time you need to be very careful and you need to be proactive at workplace, because the person is sitting with you, talking with you, and you feel like that he is your friend. But what is going on in his mind or her mind, you don't know. So that time we have to be very careful. So data security should be taken at utmost priority. It is also related to life also. It is not only for data, but same thing happens to life also. Because people, what they will say or what they will tell about you, that you can't predict. Sometimes they will tell good things about you, sometimes not. So this is very common practice of human beings. So data security is also very important. It is like that as we need security. Security people are there, like police is there, military is there. So that security system should be very powerful. Otherwise, other countries, if military is not there, then other countries will attack on our country, and anytime they can rule our country. The same thing happens with your data. So if you consider data security, then your data will be safe. Otherwise, anyone can do anything. Suppose you have prepared one file. Now you are going to represent that file. You have now you are launching a new product and you are a team leader of your particular team in a company. Now you are going to just present that presentation what you have done, but at last time somebody is coming and changing, like Chatur script, they have changed, and what happened that you know very well in 3 Idiots. So same thing happened to you also, because you need to leave your place for many reasons. So that time, and even on computer security day, I am suggesting that whenever you leave computer, you have to press Window L, and you should not share your password with anyone except the authority or authorized persons. And actually, authorized persons knows everything, so they never ask password to you. That is also there, because if they want to change, they can change from the system and servers. They need not to take password from you. Directly they will access from there and they can access. So no need to share with them also. So it is like that. Sometimes they are having entries in different place, and that time if any person asks password, whether it is part of that system, that time also you should not share. Because if that person is asking, that means he is not having the data and he is accessing from somewhere else. So that time you should confirm with your authority. Those persons already shared something or they say to do that or not. Otherwise, your work or you may be in danger position. That person can be do anything, and what he can do that you don't. It may change or it may reflect something. So like that only. So security should be taken care whenever you are using computers. For security reasons, first thing we have, that is authentication, user authentication. So user ID and password. User authorization. So user authorization means what? The files created by you. Now to whom you are giving which type of rights. Because every file has its own rights. So basic rights are the read, write and execute. These 3 rights are there in computer. Read, write and execute. Now which type of rights you want to give for which user, that is also most important. This I will show you how to give rights and all practically. So when you are going to give any particular right, you have to think about that user and accordingly you are giving. Suppose the data entry operator. Data entry operator should not delete the data. Only he will make the entry. So that Excel file should be accessed to him, nothing else. He can add, delete something inside the file, but the changes should be reflected. That also you learn in spreadsheet software. How the changes done by another users can be. Yes, that is track changes. So automatically you will understand here he had made something. If he delete also, then also that should be highlighted. So you can give password to that particular thing. Then when you are giving password, the person cannot change it. So automatically you can understand that the person has deleted this data or he has added, he has replaced this word, like that. So this is the continuation part of that. So that is authorization and different rights you are giving. After that, confidentiality. Some data is very confidential, crucial data for your company that you should not share with anyone. That is called confidentiality. Even your boss also asking sometimes, that time also you should be very careful. For what purpose he is asking, what are the reasons, any work related to that, like that. Because sometimes they are checking. Sometimes they are inspecting your intentions, your work styles. So this type of work they may do. You have to identify and you have to be very professional in such things. You have to be follow some professional etiquettes and you have to answer in that manner. So these are the basic things related to this confidentiality. After that, some security concerns like firewall. Firewall is required to stop attack from unknown sources. Because unknown sources are there, so firewall is working like security guards. As we have security guards on our gate, similarly in computers firewall is there. So whenever any new software or any request is coming from any sources like internet or any other pen drive or something, first the firewall is checking that one. It is fruitful for your computer or not. That it will check and it will work on that. Then if it is not fruitful, it will allow a message. And in that message you have 2 buttons. One is allow and second is deny. So what you want to do, that you have to select. If you want to deny, just click on deny, otherwise allow. So it will automatically access your data. And once you allow, then means that particular application or software is keeping watch on your data. So whenever something message or some messages are coming, then you have to be very careful by opening the links. So these are the some basic concerns related to your data and related to software. So before processing data, you need to understand these common related terms that I have explained. So I hope you are very clear about this all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. If you have any doubt, any query, you can ask. Okay. Okay, then let me take the screenshot and